In a world where fear often speaks louder than courage, there are moments in history that remind us that even the smallest voice can change everything. Today, we step into one of the most powerful stories ever told, the story of a young shepherd boy and a giant warrior. A story of faith against fear, of courage against impossible odds, and of how one moment can shift the fate of an entire nation. This is not just history. This is a lesson that still speaks to every heart today. This is the story of David and Goliath. The sun was rising over the valley of Elah, but peace did not rise with it. The ground was dry and still, as if even nature itself was holding its breath. Two armies stood frozen on opposite hills. On one side, the army of Israel, tired, silent, and filled with fear. On the other side, the Philistines, loud, confident, and ready for war. Between them lay the valley, a wide, empty space that had become a stage for humiliation. And every single day, that silence was broken by a voice that shook the hearts of men. A giant named Goliath would step forward. He was not just tall. He was terrifying. His armor was made of bronze, heavy and shining under the sun. His spear looked like a tree trunk with iron at the end. His voice echoed across the valley as he shouted, challenging Israel to send their strongest warrior to fight him. But no one moved. No one spoke, because everyone knew what would happen. No man in Israel could defeat him, and so, day after day, fear grew stronger than courage. 40 days passed like this, 40 days of shame, 40 days of silence, and in that silence, hope slowly disappeared. In the Israelite camp, soldiers avoided each other's eyes. Warriors who once fought bravely now stood still, pretending not to hear Goliath's voice. King Saul, the leader of Israel, sat in his tent weighed down by fear and responsibility. He was a king without a solution, a leader without courage, and every morning when Goliath stepped forward again, the entire camp would fall into the same pattern: fear, silence, and defeat without even fighting. It was not just a battle anymore. It was psychological war. The giant did not need to attack. His words were enough to break them. Then one ordinary morning, something changed, but no one noticed it at first. A young shepherd boy named David arrived at the battlefield. He was not a warrior. He was not trained for war. He did not wear armor or carry a sword. He had been sent by his father to bring food to his older brothers who were serving in the army. In his hands were simple supplies. In his heart was no fear of battle, because he was not there for battle. But when he arrived, he heard something that stopped him completely. The voice of Goliath echoed across the valley again, mocking Israel and insulting their God. And while everyone else lowered their heads, David looked up. He saw something different. He saw fear everywhere. He saw strong men acting weak. He saw an entire army accepting defeat without even trying. And something inside him could not accept it. He began asking questions. Why is no one doing anything? Why is this man allowed to insult the living God? His voice was young, but it carried something powerful: conviction. The soldiers around him were surprised. Some laughed. Some dismissed him. They said, "You are just a boy. This is not your place." But David was not focused on their fear. He was focused on the truth he carried inside him. News of David's words reached King Saul, and he ordered the boy to be brought before him. When David stood in front of the king, there was a clear contrast. Saul was tall, experienced, a king chosen to lead armies. David was young, simple, and untrained. Saul looked at him and immediately saw weakness. He said, "You cannot fight this giant. You're just a youth, and he has been a warrior since his childhood." But David did not hesitate. He spoke from experience, not appearance. He said that while tending sheep, he had already faced lions and bears, and when those beasts attacked, he had defeated them with God's help. He believed that the same God who protected him in the field would also protect him now. There was silence after his words. A strange silence. Not the silence of fear, but the silence of uncertainty. King Saul, still doubtful but unable to find another option, finally agreed. He offered David his armor, heavy, strong, and meant for battle. But when David tried it on, he could barely move. It was not made for him. It was not his identity. So he removed it, and in that moment, he made a decision that would change everything. He would not fight like a soldier. He would fight like himself. He picked up his simple shepherd's staff. He took a sling, just leather and cord, and he walked toward the valley with 5 smooth stones. No sword, no shield, no armor, just faith and courage. On the other side, Goliath stepped forward again. When he saw David approaching, he laughed, a deep, mocking laugh that echoed through the valley. He insulted him, calling him a child, a joke, something unworthy of battle. The soldiers behind Goliath laughed as well. The air was filled with humiliation. But David did not step back. He did not stop. Instead, he spoke. He declared that Goliath came with sword and spear, but he came in the name of the living God. That statement changed the atmosphere. It was no longer just a fight between a giant and a boy. It was a confrontation between fear and faith. Goliath began moving forward, his armor clanking with every step. The ground seemed to shake beneath him. He was confident. He was certain. He believed victory was already his. David, on the other hand, began to run, not away from the giant, but toward him. That moment changed everything. Fear usually makes people run away, but courage makes people run forward. David reached into his bag, took out a stone, placed it in his sling, and began to swing it. Round and round it went, faster and faster. His focus was complete. His mind was steady. His heart was calm. And then he released it. The stone flew through the air. In that moment, everything slowed. The entire battlefield watched. Even Goliath's confidence seemed to pause for a fraction of a second. And then the stone struck his forehead. A single impact, a single moment, and everything changed. The giant stopped. His body shook. His strength failed him, and slowly the unstoppable warrior fell to the ground. The sound of his armor crashing echoed across the valley like thunder, and then silence. A deep, overwhelming silence. The kind of silence that comes after something impossible happens. The army of Israel could not believe what they were seeing. The giant they feared for 40 days was gone in seconds. The boy they ignored had done what no soldier could do. Fear had been defeated not by strength, but by faith. David did not win because he was powerful. He won because he believed. He did not rely on armor or weapons. He relied on something greater than size, greater than skill, greater than fear itself. And in that moment, the valley changed forever. What was once a place of fear became a place of victory. What was once a place of silence became a place of testimony. Because one small stone, guided by courage and faith, brought down a giant that an entire army could not face. And now, as we come to the end of this story, the question remains. Not about David, not about Goliath, but about us. What giants are standing in your life today? Fear, doubt, failure, pressure that feels too big to overcome. Because the story of David is not just history, it is a reminder that giants are not defeated by size, but by faith, courage, and belief in something greater than yourself. The same strength that stood with David is the strength that still speaks today. This is the story of David and Goliath. And maybe it is also your story waiting to be written. And if this story inspired you, remember this: your giant may look big, but your faith can be bigger.